In this video, we will see how we can use the power of fuzzing to exploit API endpoints. So basically, hackers use this technique to find hidden directories, files, or parameters in a web application. Just like that, in API endpoint, we can also fuzz for API endpoints, parameters, and even the HTTP method. So this video is not just about fuzzing, we will see how we can also analyze API endpoints to even guess parameters. So let's dive into it. For demonstration purpose, I'll be using this lab from Fuzzing, that is finding and exploiting an unused API endpoint. So the goal of this lab is to exploit a hidden API endpoint and buy a product for free or for $0. So I'm going to open this lab in a new tab. Okay, let's explore all the functionalities over here. So I'm going to turn on my burp proxy and I'll go to my account and let's log in with Weiner and Peter. Okay, so we are logged in and there we can see the update functionality. So let's update this. I just want to capture all the requests in my burp proxy. Okay, let's go back to home. And here we can see the details of each product. Scroll down and here we can see that we can add some specific quantity of product in the cart. So I'm going to add this jacket in the cart. And here we can check our cart. We can also apply a coupon code and place the order. So right now my credits is $0 and so we shouldn't be able to order this, but let's place the order just to capture the request again. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the HTTP history and here we can see all the requests. So here is my account, login. I want to find a API endpoint, so scrolling down here we can see this API endpoint, that is /API/product/1/price. So one over here is a variable and it changes according to the product number, and this API endpoint is basically fetching the price of each product with a message. Okay. And here we have the cart, checkout, and some other API endpoints, which is not particularly interesting in our case. We want to focus on this API endpoint. Okay, to find a hidden API endpoint, we can do two things. First is to find the documentation, and maybe you can come across some API endpoints that were for admins, or you can do fuzzing. So I'm going to use Fuff tool for fuzzing. Okay, so I'm going to copy this URL and over here I'm going to type fuff, perform this lab before so we can see the whole command over here. I'm just going to change this with my current URL and I want to perform fuzz over here. Let's provide the full path. It's in my okay, the fuzzing is started and let's see if we can get any result. Let's send this request to repeater. Okay, since I've performed this lab before, I know that fuzzing this won't help you in this case. So I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to stop it over here. There are also other scenarios you can try if you were actually looking at it the first time. That is, you can perform fuzz over here as well, but you won't be able to find anything. What else we can do? We can also perform fuzzing at the HTTP methods. Maybe you'll be able to find some HTTP method that you weren't able to see in the proxy history. Maybe it allows post HTTP method or something else that can help you craft a request. So in order to check what are the HTTP methods that are allowed, I'm going to type here options. And in the response, we can see there are two methods that are allowed, that is get and patch. So there is something new that we just discovered. Patch method is allowed. So like in post HTTP method, we can create or append data. In patch, we can update the existing resources. So maybe we can update something here. I'm going to change the HTTP method here to patch and send the request. Since there were no data at all in body, we got this client error and we got something else. It says application JSON should be the content type. So we have to add another header over here, that is content type application JSON. If you send the request again, you'll get internal server error, basically because there is still nothing in the request body. So we have to provide something in the request body. Analyze a request. Like in this case, what we are doing, we were trying to fetch the price of a product initially with get request, and now we have changed this to patch. So maybe we can try to update the value of the price. Like if I go back, you can see that this parameter does exist, price parameter. So maybe we can try to add this price parameter in the request body and update its value. So let me go to the last request, and over here I'm going to type price and give it value 0. Send the request. And it says 200 okay, and the price value is set to $0. Now let's go back to the application and let's see if the price has been updated. Okay, we can see the price of this leather jacket is now $0. So we were able to update the price just by analyzing the request. Okay, so let's go back to the cart and remove this product. In order to solve this lab, we have to buy this product. So adding this to the cart again and place order, and we solve the lab. So as you can see, we were able to exploit an unused API endpoint. Or this endpoint should have been available only for admins. Since there is no authentication or authorization being used, we were able to exploit this endpoint. So when you're looking at an API endpoint, there are basically 3 areas you can fuzz for. The first is the API endpoint. Multiple paths you can try, just like the price or this number or here. Another thing you can fuzz for is the HTTP methods and then the parameters. Sometimes you don't even have to fuzz for it. You can just analyze a request just like we did, and we already knew that the price parameter exists, so we tried to update it and we were able to successfully exploit it. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.